Okay. All right. So what we're talking about tonight is actually for IEC 101. Again, we're going to be talking about how to write your observation paper and looking at Miss Boswell's grading rubric and how do you put that together. So this is a little bit different from IEC 101 because sometimes we will give you observation papers where you actually we ask you questions and you type them inside of a editable box and you type right into the box. In this case, for Miss Boswell, you're actually going to be writing a paper. So the first thing you need to remember is your papers need to have a cover sheet. And on the front of your cover sheet, it needs to have IEC 102, fall 2016, the date, your name, Bluegrass Community and Technical College, and you could say this is observation paper, assignment, whatever it is, and the date. Okay, so every time that you write any type of professional educational paper, we use what's called APA style. So you can actually Google that and look at Purdue OWL, and Purdue OWL will tell you how to set up an APA style paper. One of the things that it will say is that your font needs to be Times Roman. It needs to be font number 12, and it needs to be done in black ink or black print. PurdueOwl.com, actually, if you just Google that, it'll tell you. And if you want me to, I can just bring that up here. See all my research that I'm doing right now. I have to do that in APA, so I'm just going to my Google search and I'm going to type in Purdue OWL. You see it's already coming up there, Purdue OWL APA, and I use this all the time. We don't want the YouTube videos. What we want is the actual website. Maybe this one. Yep. And it's going to give you an overview of like the style. It's going to tell you what it needs to look like, the formatting. But it'll also give you like general formats, how you do your sites, your reference list, down to title pages. And the cool part about this is that if you look in here, like it'll give you a sample paper right here and show you just exactly how like your first page is supposed to look like. So in your English classes, whatever, this is how an APA paper is supposed to be set up. You see that it has like these little things in that I'm highlighting in blue here. Those are actually breaks in your paper. So when you come back and you look at here on your rubric, these should be in place of those blues. So your first one should be description of the center. And you look at this by saying, okay, the description of the center, what does that include? It's worth 5 points of your 25 points. So in your description, what you're going to talk about here is the name of the center, the director of the center, where the center is located, and then also the star that the center is. Is it a 2-star center, 3-star center? Is it NACE accredited? These are all things that you probably need to ask the teacher before she starts teaching. Don't interrupt the teacher to ask this. You can ask it at the end. But to get those 5 points, you're going to have to give a description of the center. Okay, going to the next one, which should be another heading, description of the classroom, the students, and the teacher. Here what we're looking for is how many students are in the center. How many students are in the classroom? Count them. Okay, how many girls, how many boys, and talk about the ethnicity of the class. Do we have Hispanics in the class? African Americans in the class? Is it predominantly white? If you do not know the answer to that, then you can talk to the teacher afterwards and begin to ask her about that. Is there disability children in the classroom that has been diagnosed? Not that they assume, but have they been officially diagnosed? And you also need to talk to the teacher. You need to ask the teacher, what type of credentials do you have? Do you have your CDA? Are you working on your CDA? Do you have your Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood? Do you have a related degree? Find out where that teacher is. And in this paragraph, you're going to talk about the things that you discovered. Again, that's 5 points. Now, the reason that we do want you to kind of interview the center, kind of interview the teacher, is because we want you to be able to relate. Hey, I'm watching a teacher who has a bachelor's degree in early childhood, or am I watching a teacher who just has a CDA? You're going to want to know where that person is, and we want you to be able to see the skill level of that teacher at that educational level. Okay? This next one is type of observation tool and findings. Here, what you're looking for is you're going to be writing anecdotal notes here. I know you don't understand that word, but that word means that you're basically taking notes as you watch. That's called anecdotal note-taking or an anecdotal observation. So that's what you need to say there, because primarily that's what you're going to be doing. And what are you looking for? You need to begin to ask the questions. What is this observation supposed to be looking for? And how am I going to observe what I'm looking for? For instance, let's say that your assignment said that you needed to watch children eat lunch. So before you go into that observation, you need to probably have listened to a lecture and said, okay, Ms. Maria said that in order for a center to be up to par when they are serving lunch, the health and safety regs. So you might want to look at the health and safety regulations and have them there to see if in fact they are abiding by those. You may pull out the ECHRS. And you probably don't know what that is, but it's the Early Childhood Environmental Rating Scale. And you may pick out something in the health and safety part where it's talking about food and observe that with them. But primarily you're going to gather from your lectures and from your readings on that particular subject, and you need to write down some maybe like 5 or 10 things that you want to look for. And then check mark them. Yes, I saw it. No, I did not. And then you're going to be able to answer the next set, which is critical thinking. And here it's talking about critical thinking skills as a reflection of saying, okay, I listed 10 items that I should have seen on health and safety, and I only saw 4 out of 10. Okay, so that's going to show me as a professor, first of all, that you listened to the lecture and you have looked in your material, you've made a checklist, and now you are actually learning that this person did or did not do what they should have done. Now, this is where you've got to be really, what's the word I want to use? Maybe mousy would be the word, because sneaky, that's the word, sneaky. And by sneaky, I mean you don't need to go up to the teacher and say, man, I've got 10 items listed here and you only did 4. You really stink as a teacher in health and safety. Don't do that. No, 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 no. Okay, that's very, very inappropriate. So don't do that. If in fact she says, well, how did I do? Just say, oh, you did great. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in your room. And don't show her your notes. Okay? Because you may offend somebody. So you're going to take your notes back home and you're going to actually begin to write your paper. And that's where you need to reflect. You can be very honest in your paper because only your teacher's going to read these, and the more honesty that she sees, the more she's going to understand that you really understand the difference between good practice and bad practice, okay? And hopefully you're going to see so many good things that you don't have to make that contradiction there. But where it says that you're making a point, you're reflecting on that point, you're demonstrating that you understand what you're supposed to be doing in that situation, that's where you're going to get the most points. Okay? Next is your grammar and your spelling and your writing structure, and it has to be typed. So anytime that you are doing a Word document, just remember that you have up here your spell check, and you need to begin to use it. Use your spell check. Make sure that your grammar's okay. And let's see. I was going to show you from this. Okay, on your review, there's your spelling check and your grammar button. So you need to use that. You can also use your word count to make sure that everything is okay. As far as like you've got enough words, which it doesn't say how many words, but you need paragraphs with at least 3 to 4 sentences in each one of them. Okay? So your whole observation should be no more than 2 pages, but it should be more than a page. So a good solid one is 2 pages. That doesn't include your title page. If you cite your textbook, remember that you need to go back to Purdue How, and you can actually see how to cite. Let's see here. Like in-text citations or in using authors. Right here, you're just going to click on this, and it's going to give you how to do your citations within your paper. And then it will also, if you go to the reference page, it'll show you how to list reference materials. Okay? The basic rules or whatever. All right. And you can also, if you come down here, you can print all these off. All right. So, going back to you here, I'm going to take myself off of that, stop presenting, and I'm going to ask you, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, that was very detailed. So, no questions at this time.
Okay. So, do you want me to go over anything else?
Sorry, let me just look here if I had anything else. Okay, yeah, I just have one other question. I have the unit that's due on September 4th, and this was on the syllabus. So it has assignments 3B and 3C, and then on there also it just has print these documents 4C and 4B. That's just for to get ahead, to be ready, right? Or is this something else that I need to be completing? Because it doesn't say that it's due for this unit.
Okay, so did she give you a study guide?
She did.
Okay, so if it's not on the study guide, then she's probably just giving you heads up.
Okay. 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 All right. So that's great. Then that gives me all the information I need to be able to write that paper.
Okay, so sounds like you're on target and you're moving forward. So, do you need anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I would encourage you to maybe when I send this back out, to post somewhere or tell Miss Boswell how much you enjoyed this session, so your other friends in your class will join. Because I just think it is so crucial to be able to ask those kinds of questions and be successful. So I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you very much, Miss Maria.
You're welcome.
All right. So do I need to stay in for the rest of the 30 minutes, or are we good? No. Am I good to go? Or
I think you're good to go, and I'm gonna stop the recording, and then I'm gonna have Jamie post it in your course shell.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Maria. You have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I didn't know it was perfect.